When we last left our heroes, the group was in two smaller parties. One, with Drock and Erix, had been traveling incognito, or at least Erix had been, for the last several months, getting by on the occasional bounty, the money that Drock could make while barding and performing, and what Erix managed to scrounge up from sometimes less scrupulous means. Meanwhile, they were being pursued, though not to their knowledge, by Farron and Kiaran, who had been searching for Aiden at the Asurok's behest. Their search went better than it might have otherwise, given their skill sets, due to the fact that there was only one person who matched the description they were looking for. The crimson-skinned, black-haired, horned and tailed man. So, even though they didn't quite have a good bead for him...
That's racist.
Well, accurate.
Does that make it more racist?
Yes.
There's not a lot of people with crimson skin. I'm not saying it's nothing bad about being crimson skin. They found them in a small riverside farming town called Rafasha, where Drock was performing and Erix was trying to keep a low profile. After a little bit of circuitous talking in the tavern, both parties retired for the night, only to be surprised the following morning when Erix was outed by the innkeeper, unexpectedly, and due to a case of mistaken identity, a wanted man named Noka the Bloody vowed not to be taken alive, and attacked the party. Before immediately being taken alive and unconscious. As Drock looked for manacles for possibly the longest search in D&D history.
He misplaced them.
Yes, true. Erix was confronted by Farron, who basically outed his secret, showing him that he knew who he truly was, and delivering a message to him from his uncle, Baron Lunara. Baron Lunara's letter asked his nephew for aid in the town of Shade.
I saw Brett kind of go.
Throwing some shade your way.
And this revelation is where we find our group, still in the bottom of the town, the tavern, now reunited with this paper bombshell just dropped on the lot of them. So as we fade in, Erix, what do you do?
We're gonna fade into shade.
We're already in shade now.
We're not there yet.
Okay.
You're not throwing shade yet?
No.
Okay. All right, so as Erix finishes reading the document, he kind of sets it down. Well, guess I have to go to this shade place?
Shade?
Shad?
What is that
Shad?
place? Drock wonders to himself.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
Did you read that out loud? Because
No, my guy's not stupid. My guy doesn't have to read out loud because he's not an idiot. And he doesn't know what's in the letter.
so none of us do either then.
No.
Well, he just mentioned Shade, so all of you can make a history check.
All right.
Alright, and add all my modifiers for my intelligence.
If you have Thieves' Cant, then you have advantage on the check.
I do have these. Two. I'm going to use that advantage.
12.
6.
12, 6,
Would it be 21?
21. Okay. So Farron
And
and
being noble.
Erix both have knowledge of the place. It's a sort of a squatter town built up in the shadow of a once great metropolis deep in the desert. Full of ne'er-do-wells, wanted men, revolutionaries, basically anyone who wants to drop off the grid and be far away from any semblance of law. It's a tough place where you're going to have to watch your back. But somehow you're not quite surprised to find Uncle Baron has ended up there.
His name is actually Baron?
Barrin, Baron.
Okay.
I thought it was a title.
Yeah, I thought it was a title too.
No, sorry. No.
Family of nobles, and then you said Baron, so I figured I kind of went with it.
Erix, do you have time to collect our bounty?
Well, so
You don't need to make a check because you know about it. You'd have to go to a bounty office, which this place is a little bit in the sticks. They're sort of far between. The closest one you know is about a week's ride west of here. If you're going to Shade, which you've heard of the name, but you're not quite sure the details, it's probably in a different direction. Fortunately, the bartender says, who has a keen ear apparently, says, I'm going to be able to help you out with that, Drock. I just heard your companion say you're heading to Shade?
That's correct.
Well, how about this? I'll make you a deal. You said the bounty was 60 crowns, yes?
Yes, he did.
that is exactly what he said.
Those are the words that I use to describe the situation.
Well, I'll take half, and deliver the. I'll pay you half, and then I'll deliver the guy and take the bounty.
Sounds like a great plan. Can I actually roll for deception?
You don't have to. He's oblivious to your apparent anger. He says, "All right." Reaches behind the.
Can you roll deception to see if I pick up on his anger?
Yeah, sure.
Decent chance.
You have disadvantage because of the way you were saying it.
He has disadvantage?
He has disadvantage.
I still...
Okay.
19.
Damn it, 17.
Okay. He seems very. It seems like a cordial arrangement has been made between him and the innkeep. I mean, do you have to use the world's heaviest D20? Is that what we're doing?
I was just picking that
We
thing
can
up. That
use-
thing is
We
ridiculous.
can use another d20.
I'm pretty sure that thing dented a wall at one of our houses.
Not by my hand. It was by my Kent.
So the.
No, I don't think it was by your hand either, but I'm pretty sure it still happened.
Like, if that rolls off the floor, I'm worried about shattering my feet.
It does a d4 damage.
Does it?
So the innkeeper reaches below and pulls out a sack of coin, counts out 30 and slides it across the table to you. And he says, takes 2 more, puts on. Here's for the manacles, too.
Thank you. It would be wrong of me not to share the spoils. I just put it, like, very angrily in front of everyone.
All right, so y'all get 8 gold.
Woo! I'm drowning in money.
Damn you, John. Damn you, DM.
Affected by your own petard.
Ah,
I was gonna
completely.
say.
Ah, oh, my well-laid plans.
I just palm my coins and stash them in my sack.
You must also keep wary, though.
Real quick. One thing I want to have my character do, and I'll probably do this in the other game too as well, is have him divide up his coins into various parts of his body. Like keeping some in his boot, keeping some in his pouch. That way, like, it's harder for him to be separated from all of his gold.
Okay,
I think it's something he would probably do.
that seems fine.
I'll designate how much is where. That way, if you pickpocket him or something, that there's no question of what he actually has.
So you'll have basically doing that will impose like a penalty to someone who's trying to pickpocket you or something.
That's fine.
Trying to use sleight of hand against you.
So we're going to make arrangements to go to the shade.
Do we need to make arrangements, or do we just head there on foot?
You both would know. That's Farron and Eric's would both know that it's about a week and a half to 2 weeks over land to get there, and most of it is deep desert. So
We're
it's not going to be
talking
an
week
easy
and a half
trip.
on foot, or
On foot.
Okay.
If you have like a camel or something, you might be able to make better time. But you're going to want to have some camping supplies, some tents and things like that. Because having a bedroll might not be enough to ward off exposure and the harsh environment. From your time, you know you're mostly going to want to travel at night and rest during the day. A tent would be necessary, but you've got Create Water, so that's going to go a long way on that journey.
Hell yeah,
I
I
don't think
do.
any of us can afford a camel.
Yeah.
How much does one go for?
It does stipulate that it has to be like, there has to be
Just
like,
got a
you know,
bunch.
We got 8.
bounty area. But I
Each.
do have one of my features is I do have Wanderer. That means I can find food.
I started off with
If
quite a
there's-
bit of gold in my pocket, and I
if
can't
there's
afford that.
by natural landscape. So there's stuff I can hunt. My thing so they can find food.
So there's some badlands and scrublands between the savannah and the deep desert where you'll be able to scrounge at disadvantage. But once you actually hit the desert, there's basically no food to find. So it doesn't matter how good a survivalist, sand sandwiches don't really fill you the way you might like.
My character might not know this, but how would he actually fare in heat since he is resistant to fire?
You'd have advantage against like dehydration and just sort of exposure based. You like for heat exposure, you wouldn't have to make any checks, but for like dehydration and stuff.
Oh yeah,
you'd have
that would
advantage.
that would still. I mean, he probably. I don't think unless we're in an area where it gets hot enough, he might not be aware that he handles heat better than he used to.
Okay.
So we need to get a crap load of rations and tents.
Yep.
So the tents are 2 people, so we could save on both space and expense by bundling up. Granted, they're only 2 gold, so I mean,
You're gonna
No.
you're gonna get 2 tents. You should relax. Thank you. I'm here all week.
okay.
Do we just want to get them, or do we want to role play purchasing these items?
Actually, there's an important question. How well off is the town we're in? Because that directly affects how my guy acquires his stuff.
It's it's a simple farming town.
So he's gonna buy it then.
The barkeep says, if you need supplies, you should talk to Amin across the street.
Okay.
So I head over there.
Yeah, I'll go too.
Across the street.
Mhm.
I walk over. What is across the street?
Simple dwelling made of like wood and reeds. some kind of like mud walls to enclose it. That there is a little sign out front, shows a little like a bag with like some items stopping at the top. There's like some arrows and a plow and some other things. And this is a Hameen's general store.
Okay, so another reason we might want to only do the 2 tents. They're 20 pounds apiece. I know that's going to put me near being encumbered.
They're 20 pounds apiece, you say. So prodigious strength would be necessary.
Yeah. You volunteering?
Or I can carry things, totally. Drock is totally down to like... It's like
So-
Andy Dwyer. Hey, Andy, I gotta move stuff.
How
Can I
much
help
of-
you move?
How much of the time did you say we'd actually be in the desert? In terms of like a good...
a week.
At least half the time.
It was a week and a half to get there, but about half of that would be in the desert, so we'd need 7 days of rations.
At least, yeah.
Right. I've already got 5, so do we have a good survival? Someone with good survival in terms of keeping our rations down before we hit the desert?
Yeah, I actually I have a feature Wanderer where I can find food like no check required unless you want to stipulate whatever.
Is it
No.
for you and others? or
Mine's
for
decent,
yourself?
too.
Me and others. Me and 6 others.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have
And I've got
decent
create
survival.
water, so
As an outlander.
Nice.
Okay, so then we don't... If you've got create... Like, how often can you cast that? Because that...
it's 1 spell slot as long as the vessel's big enough can make up to I think 10 gallons.
Well, because that's good, because then we don't have to carry like a bajillion water skins if he can just generate water sources and we fill up the skins that we have.
Yeah.
Because that'll keep weight down too.
Mhm.
If I fund the tent, would you carry it and that'll be your and I's tent?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll buy the tent. I'm going to pick up another water skin.
Oh,
just,
so you guys, who all's going over to the general store?
All of
Everybody?
us.
or-
I went.
We all went.
yeah, we
Okay,
need.
I
We
think
all.
so.
We're all going to need to get some kind of supplies.
Okay, as you walk in, there's a little bell above the door. Ding, 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 as you walk in. It's nice and cool inside, shaded. It's still morning, but the temperature's already beginning to rise outside. The store is arrayed with mostly kind of self-serve goods piled into bags or on barrels all about. There's a small counter with a tan-skinned, portly man with a bald head. As you walk in, he says, "Welcome, welcome. Drock in my very establishment? Welcome, welcome."
Snicker, snicker, snicker.
Very welcome.
He says, "I saw your performance last night. It was wonderful. How can I be of service to you?"
Well, we're going to be traveling for a great distance. We need tents and rations.
"That I can provide.
Do you also have a loot case?
May I see the loot?"
Be careful with Vinica.
He says, "Oh, I would not dream of being hard on such a beautiful instrument."
Whoops.
He says, "I may have something I can accommodate for." And he hands it back to you. He says, "Where are you going?"
Draw kind of looks at you guys because
We're heading to Shade.
"Are you now? Would you mind doing me a favor?"
Depends on the favor.
"I have a letter I need delivered."
How much?
He says, "Well," he rubs his hands together contemplatively, "if you promise to bring it to its destination without opening it, then I will give you 20% on any goods you need to make the journey."
21 deception. He says, "Sure, I promise I won't open it."
He says,
This is more of he can't. I'm not guaranteeing that he won't. He's not going to intend. He has no plans to open it, but he might get bored one night. I don't know.
He says, "A moment." He goes into like a back room, comes out with a brass scroll case, and he says, as he hands it to you, as you grab it, he doesn't let go. He says, "It is set up so if opened, the recipient will know. I advise you not to. And let's go."
He pauses. Duly noted, and then stows it away on himself.
He says, "Excellent. Well, let me know what you need, and I will do my best to accommodate." So just go ahead and do a quick shopping list, and you get 20% off anything you need to buy.
Who are we delivering the brass scroll case to, by the way?
Yeah, we need a destination.
You will deliver it to a man named Everin Hamar. He will be expecting it.
Destination.
And he's in Shade, correct?
He is.
how might we find him? Is he in a profession or?
Well, I'll find him.
I would suggest asking around. I do not know his exact location.
For my own edification, is there any chance that this man is going to be angry at the contents of this scroll case? This just affects how I might be delivering it.
I believe you're not supposed to shoot the messenger.
In a perfect world, they don't.
It
Where we're
says,
going, I'm not relying on that.
"While there are reasons to fear Everin Hamar, the contents of this scroll case are not one of them."
Good to know. Yeah, appreciated.
You spoke of some type of case for Vinica.
"Yes, yes. So I have a small chest. I can put some towels in it to insulate her."
How much will
8 silver. And that's with a discount. And he takes a small wooden box and puts some towels in there, locks it up.
Can I do gold, 2 silver? I assume you have an exchange.
Yeah, he'll use 2 silver and
Okay.
change. Exact change only.
I don't accept copper. We're doing away with copper. It's more to admit copper than it's worth.
You round up to the nearest silver.
5,000 copper pieces. Ah, crap. This is going to be hell to bring this back. Just leave it. We're not going to... Is there anything you can tell us about Shade?
I only know by reputation, but it's a dangerous place. You'll have to keep your wits about you. But based on your arsenal, and he kind of glances at your blade, his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have your rapier on you, Eric's?
No, I came downstairs without it because I was trying to avoid attention.
I feel you should be okay as long as you keep your head up and keep your eyes sharp. Make a diplomacy check. Persuasion.
That's going to be 20.
He says, if you're there, there's a man you should be wary of. His name is Hafaj Rahim. He is known for his short temper, and his reprisals are sometimes unfairly painful.
Short-tempered? I hate people like
You're a good man, friend. But in all seriousness, be careful around him. He is a powerful man in those circles.
Do you have a description so we can avoid him by sight?
Is he human or...
I only know him by name and reputation.
He doesn't have a short reputation, does he?
I don't understand that.
I don't follow.
Never mind.
All right.
All right, so you guys bought everything you need?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I got a second water skin, 4 more days of ration, so I'm up to 9. He's got the tent.
This is the Lee Carvello's Putty Challenge portion of the podcast. Tedious bookkeeping.
Yay, D&D!
I'm probably gonna skip over some of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see excitement.
okay.
I believe now. All right. So can we get possibly like 30% off? I don't know about that.
Okay.
Have we all precisely calculated our encumbrance and chosen where to put all the gear on your character sheet?
Hey, mine's already divided and set up that way. It helps that his program did a lot of the work.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Since we're in the general store, and this is a mostly out of character question, but potentially vaguely in character, vision. I'm pretty sure the two of us have dark. Think you guys are human. Do you have light sources if we're traveling at night?
I have the light spell.
And they've got torches between them as well.
I'm just making sure since this is a location to buy things like oil for lamps.
Yeah, I actually thought about buying a lantern, and then I remembered I have light and it's a cantrip, so
You can
my
spam
stuff
it.
for
Yeah.
cartography. That's the thing I do.
Okay.
I think it's like
cast it very fittingly on my
piece,
holy
probably.
symbol, which is a sun on the front of my shirt,
It's probably a little more expensive.
and then just walk around with it.
Appropriate.
Is this just because I'm being anal retentive by bookkeeping? Is the scroll case heavier than a regular scroll case?
No, that's right.
Okay.
Normal size. It appears to be weighted a little more heavily towards one end, but
I'm hearing improvised mace.
no, it's just like
No.
it's like a more
Oh.
in-depth locking mechanism.
Okay.
Hmm.
Does he have a grappling hook? And if not, is it something I could have potentially acquired before I left the capital?
Let's say a grappling hook. You want a grappling hook?
I want a grappling hook.
All right.
My guy likes to break into places. He should have a grappling hook.
1 gold and 6 silver.
Can I afford this $10,000 cigar case? No. Can I see $100 with these tools?
What did you want? Paper and stuff?
Yeah, paper and to make charts. I usually do that. It's good to know. It's good to have maps in my general.
Okay. Yeah. So he'll give you basically six paper for a gold.
Okay. Like a magnifying glass is like 1,000 gold. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, lenses are hard to make, and this is not exactly, mass production era.
All right. I think I have everything I need. I'm wearing explorer's clothes already.
Are we going to any stops during there?
Are there places to stop? I was under the impression it's pretty much open desert, yeah?
Is it a straight shot?
You're not quite sure. You've never been there. You sort of know of the area, but you haven't been there yourself.
Okay.
Purely for role-playing purposes. As your character made us aware that you can create water. Otherwise, until that happens, we should actually be buying more water skins.
Oh,
'Cause-
sure, yeah, I mean, it would make sense if I'm going to be traveling.
I'm probably looking
I
like a
got
water
that.
skin like.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like it might come up when you see my guy buy starts buying more water skins.
Okay.
Tell me. Fair.
Whatever your name is.
Guy.
What other spells can you conjure?
Well, I mean, if you want me to go down the whole list.
Why don't you just give him the highlight reel?
Yeah, hold on. Well, I'm level 1. The list isn't really that long.
I also wants to make you have a lot of fun editing this later.
So I can
What things do you commonly?
I can call by the grace of Palor. I can call on his guidance to give everyone 1d4 of extra stuff you can throw on skill checks. Create light in a rather large radius.
What rituals do you cast?
Hey, why would you be asking another character this? Like, it seems a little odd.
Oh, because I have cast a certain ritual.
Okay. I can detect magical auras on things.
I can understand all languages.
Oh, that's useful, I'm sure.
Especially Drog likes the word ritual.
Okay,
Okay.
you guys want to put your arcane cocks away and we can finish this transaction?
More like
Divine.
Or we can like maximize so you don't,
Yeah.
heard the same things.
Yeah, I mean, I can do some stuff. That's some pretty cool shit.
So aside from the tents and you got the parchment over there, Drock, you got some other. No, Drock got parchment. You got some additional traveling supplies. Eric's. You didn't really get anything of note there.
I had a bunch of stuff.
Okay. And Karen, did you get anything?
I'm good for equipment.
I can make the rest.
So while in the savannah, you can probably travel by day without too much difficulty, and you're gonna be traveling mostly through savannah and farmlands as you begin to head north towards the deserts. Go ahead and make a whoever has the highest survival will be leading the expedition.
Well, I have it.
I have a +1.
I have it trained. I mean, I have a proficiency in it, which would be +2. But
Oh,
I have
okay.
actually no actual wisdom. But
That makes it +4 for me then.
I have +5.
Oh, shit.
okay, so
Look at the big survival on Lisa.
All right. So Lisa, you're gonna be leading the expedition.
Cool.
And whoever has the second highest can attempt to assist. So
Assisting.
You can make a check.
Ooh. That's
24.
a 7.
Okay. So
I'm helping.
So 24 for me.
Drog is making maps. He's not playing songs.
Okay. So you basically spend the rest of the morning and afternoon traveling. As the sun gets low in the western sky, you decide to pause for the day. You find a little kind of bushy tree and make camp beneath it for the night. Probably have a couple more days of travel in the grasslands and savannah. You pass a few kind of farmers on your way out, but nothing really of great note or import occurs. Are we going to set some watches for the night?
Yes.
Sure.
All
Why
right.
not?
So what's our order?
I'll take first.
I'll volunteer for second.
I'm going to do third and I'll do fourth.
Oh,
Sure.
You only need 3 typically.
Because you can do 2 hours of our 8 hours can kill his watch. Right?
As long as nobody gets you in a fight with you, 3
Yeah.
watches are all you need. So 1 drop, 2 Farron,
Do you care?
3.
No.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Sure. Sorry. I'm off today.
They were bad at playing rock, paper, scissors.
No, my arms
You
are
win.
all goofy. Alright, you go. I'm gonna rest.
I'll take the third one then.
Okay, cool.
So I do watch. I have my sword drawn and I pace around.
Sure, that's
angrily.
not distracting.
No, not at all.
Teammates very comfortable. Okay. First watch goes uneventfully, as does second, as does third. So after 1 day of travel, things have gone well and quietly.
I want to play some music. Do I have to make rolls to see if it drives either of them crazy?
Yeah,
Enjoy
make
it.
a form check.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
man, I'm working on a new song here. That's gonna be a 6.
Okay.
Some experimental, ambient, progressive.
No, dude, it's not that good.
All right. So
Everyone make con checks.
Who wants to tell Drock to stop playing?
okay, no one's really happy with it, and there's some penalty socially against you from your companions, I guess. Anyway,
Eventually, Eric starts like picking up pebbles and just throwing at him until he stops.
Lose points of charisma.
Permanently.
the second day also goes quietly. Watches. So far, so good. Day 3, the grassland begins to. Make another survival check.
Ooh. And this time I will call
24 again.
Never mind. It's
Killing it.
entirely unnecessary.
Okay. You find a small watering hole at basically the edge of the Badlands.
Cool.
There's a small group of animals sitting there.
Define animals.
They look like mostly
Mammals or like alligators?
well, from a distance, as you spot the watering hole, you can see mammals. They're like antelope, oh crap! I could picture them.
Antelope are things.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's not
Gazelle?
Like, yes, thank you.
There's gazelle right there.
There's a small herd of gazelle. You're not sure if there's anything lurking beneath the water, but from a distance at least, it appears to be peaceful.
hear the disembodied
Does-
voice of David Attenborough
Does
somewhere.
anyone have a bow and arrow?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I start with one actually.
Gazelle sounds good.
Point of reference. Would it be an alligator or a crocodile? Because it's bothering me now.
It'd probably be a crocodile.
Crocodile. Okay.
Yeah, I think not the Nile. It probably has not the Nile crocodiles in it.
I think I said alligator, and that immediately sounded
They're asking me
wrong.
to. Am I roll? Are you having me roll
Crocodile.
attacks, or how are we handling the hunting of the gazelle?
If you want to get some fresh meat, make a survival check, but use your range attack roll instead of your
Oh, thank God. Ooh. That's going to be 9.
9. Okay. The shot goes wide and spooks the herd. They take off in flight and leave the watering hole.
So Eric's just kind of stands there staring and goes, to be fair, I grew up in a city and have never gone hunting before. That's the first time I've ever shot at anything.
You could have allowed me to call for Palor's guidance to guide your hand on that. And maybe, just maybe, we'd be having some fresh gazelle right now.
You could have said something before I shot the bow, since it took me a while to line up that arrow.
You
and that
threw the
shot.
damn dice way before I had the chance.
Yeah, Eric's was carrying you in character.
Do we need to get the bow?
The bow? You shot the bow? How bad was your shot?
not that bad.
He did say it was his
No,
first
the
time.
arrow's lost.
Yeah, like that
Bugs
distance,
Bunny
there's
style,
no-
shoot the bow and hold the arrow.
Oh, that's what I should have gotten more of.
Arrows?
Yes.
That was the only one.
No, I have like 20 of them, but
I mean, if I get close enough, I can cast a spell that'll cause them all to go to sleep. That should be super effective. But I gotta go to a certain range.
Turns out they're all Pokemon. It's super effective.
All right,
Well-
is there anything else that you want to investigate over here, or do you want to just press on?
Does anyone need
You
to
guys
refill?
are still like a little ways out from the
Yeah.
water hole. You haven't gotten close enough to really give a good check out.
How are our water supplies at this point?
We've only been traveling a couple of days.
Yeah.
how badly do we want meat?
Just expend
You've
your
been
energy
you've
to-
been catching like small game and stuff.
Because, I mean, they might come back. I could hole up in a tree and wait for them to come back.
I think we need to press on more than
Yeah.
we need to hunt.
We're not, like, starving yet or anything.
All right, moving on.
All right.
My ramble.
The rest of the day goes quietly, but by nightfall, you've moved out of kind of grassland into more like badland, scrubland. The ground is hard and cracked. Rocks are a lot more prevalent. There are some sort of light foothills that kind of boom and roll. The vegetation has moved from poofy grass, like waving in the wind, to harder succulents, scrounging every bit of moisture they can out of the packed earth. Even as you move through it, your clothes are getting caught on errant scrubs that are covered in like thorny briars and grasping branches. Make a nature check, Drock and Farron.
Okay.
4.
That's a 14. That's much better.
Okay. You know that as you are heading into the northern Badlands, as they are called, there are a number of tribes of lizard folk that call this area their home. Depending on which you run into, some of them are peaceful and some of them are very warlike. So it's a little bit of a...
Would I know enough to know the difference?
you may, although it depends on sort of how they interact.
Okay.
They are constantly, not necessarily warring, but bickering and power struggling amongst themselves.
Hmm.
So outside of the clans, it's very difficult to know who holds power and sway where.
Okay.
It would depend a lot on if you see them, what how they interact, or what either banners or mannerisms they have may clue you in as to what clan they are.
Okay. Cool. So I'll share that information with everyone. You know, we're heading up into the northern Badlands. Keep your eyes peeled.
Will do.
Okay. And then off we go, I suppose.
All right, so first watch that night goes quietly. As the second and as the third.
Okay.
So it's day one in the Badlands now, as you press on.
So we're
you
going
actually
into the
have to make
Badlands.
checks to get food now.
Okay.
Does that show any good?
From the few episodes I've seen, yes.
What is?
Into the Badlands. Problem I ran into is it's on AMC, which does not come onto the streaming networks unless I want to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting to watch the rest until it hits
So I will
Netflix.
attempt a hunter gathering check.
I couldn't get over to Ronda's frequently enough.
15.
15?
Mhm.
Okay, that's going to be good enough.
So you're bringing back food then?
Doesn't.
Yeah, you bring some small birds in, some...
I do have a trapping thing. I have a trap.
Okay. Yeah, some small birds, a couple lizards, and then some edible plants that you have to you use your dagger to cut the thorns off of.
With the lizard folk find this offensive.
I don't know. Probably.
Who uses the most big words?
Yeah, that would be him.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of. Well, I asked you, but like you, like I asked kind of you. You're quiet.
She's a mug. Vow of silence. Or something. I don't know.
Alex, what do you think? Would lizard folk be angry if we ate lizards?
This far out? Probably not. I would wager that they probably eat lizards too, kind of like how we eat other mammals.
That's true.
That's not like, my cousin!
Yeah, it's not you ate Jimmy. Yeah, I don't think that's what's happening.
It'd be like if we
Different
ate a
palates.
smaller monkey.
Yes, it's like if we ate a smaller monkey.
Drop by second.
Okay, cool. So we have food now.
Watches. First watch. Quietly. Second. Also goes quietly. And the third watch is also uneventful. So you're traveling for 4 quiet, uneventful days, about the best you could ask for, given the terrain.
Are we getting some serious party bonding going on?
We're kind of.
Yeah, so far you've been kind of walking quietly, but if you want to chit-chat as you go or bring anything up, feel free. It's day 5, up to 14.
So, what you might have gathered is that I have 3 songs that I've. Well, can I actually do a couple of like checks just for like I'm strumming? I'm not playing loudly, but I'm just kind of like strumming to myself.
Yeah, make a perform check.
So perform check. So one of them is an 8.
For all of our sakes, I am going to call on Paylor to guide your fingers. Roll that shit, please.
Another one.
Please not a 1.
4.
Hey, alright.
Alright, it
Hello.
went from not great to pretty okay.
Okay, the other one's a 20.
20?
Hell yeah.
So it seems like he's finally gotten down this new tune. You have a +2 check, morale check to any checks you make for the rest of the day.
You notice I do seem to have a lot of songs about Venica.
Who?
And a lot of girls, a lot of songs about heartbreak.
Okay. You alright
Whenever he-
over there, buddy?
Whenever he screws up on a song, my character uses thaumaturgy to make like ominous sounds to kind of.
I know Eric's okay. Boy, it's called practice.
Wah wah.
And I do use minor illusion to have like just a steady drum beat, like nothing real like really. John, how would you roll that? Like minor illusion for a drum beat? Can it be a certain pattern or is it a steady drum beat?
Yeah, it's like a virtual 808, you know.
Like I like do a kind of
You can get
like a repeating pattern.
you can get 1 4/4 measure to do with as you will.
Sweet.
But no drum fills.
No,
It's only
no,
backbeat.
any blast beats.
No.
No problem.
Okay.
You have bossa nova. You have,
XYZ. Or is that like 20th level?
you've got
That's above your pay grade.
you got mambo, you got bossa nova, and you've got jazz. So those are the 3 options you can put on your Casio keyboard backbeat machine. Okay.
So, do you guys have any questions for the fact that you're now traveling with a rune caller and the guy you knew, the child you knew, is now kind of devilish looking? Seems like that would spur a few questions.
Let's have a fireside chat.
I'm gonna let you kind of come around to that one whenever you're ready, because that's pretty intense for me to try to jump in on that. I don't even know what the hell a rune caller or whatever that is. So.
It feels like you guys might have more questions for us than we'd have for you, because he's used to being how he is, and you guys are just normal.
He's got questions for himself, maybe.
And at least I know my guy's probably not in the talkiest of places,
Fair enough.
or at least as far as his background is concerned.
Okay.
I'd probably ask more questions about, so have you ever been to Shade? Tell us about your uncle. Why are we on this journey in the first place?
And it's like the first thing you've said, like, in 5 days, and everyone's just shocked, like, oh my god.
You finally go, so why are we going here? You only said we needed to go here.
Well, I'm content to follow my uncle, and I trust his decisions. And he's following you, but you have to tell me now because I'm the leader of the party. Apparently.
Well, as far as keeping us alive.
Yeah, in terms of survival checks.
Who wants to go first now that we have a barrage of questions to answer?
Well, just general situation. Sit rep, please.
Well, he's an uncle on my mother's side, hence why we don't have a similar last name. Like a lot of the rest of my family, he wasn't a dick. Or I guess, like my dad, he wasn't a dick.
So
The nature of the problem...
Your
that
father
he-
was a penis.
What's that wisdom score again?
10.
Oh, well,
That's average, though.
Yeah, you're not
Oh,
like,
okay,
an
never
idiot.
Well, debatable.
I'm unfamiliar with the language, though.
I got along with my uncle a lot. He was very much like me. Bit of the black sheep of the family. A little bit always on the outside. I think it's who I took after in terms of when he came to visit and where I found what joy there was to be had where I grew up.
Yeah, it was a real hellscape.
Listen to a lot of The Cure.
As I grew up with...
I listened to a lot of The Cure. And...
I'm sure.
So he is who we are visiting. Is it a social call?
No, he didn't go into the nature of the problem in the letter, but he has an issue he would like my help sorting out. Both between, I guess, my skill set and my current lack of duty back home.
What is your particular skill set?
Really good at getting in and out of places. And trouble. Getting in and out of trouble. Good at that, too.
Guild was my place to perform a couple of bounties that I'm currently pursuing. One is Vasin Mambo. I think that's how it's said. Mambo.
Number number 5. Thank you.
It is a human with missing pinkies and is wanted for debts.
With both of them?
I wrote it down. It's kind of scribbled. It might be both. Whatever. If we see a human with missing
I have
fingers,
questions for that guy on how that happens.
Yeah.
well, missing debts, I imagine. And
They
also,
take your pinkies for that?
there's
I really need to renege on more debts.
we need to keep our eyes open for a missing cat. It is an orange taffy called Mittens.
Tabby.
A taffy cat?
I wrote
Taffy?
down taffy. Okay, this is what I wrote down. All right, it's a taffy cat.
You're a moron.
Is it like
This is what Drock wrote down. It's a taffy cat.
like salt water?
Okay,
Drock is
when
reading
we
his own
find
writing.
him- and Eric's is asking this at this point. When we find him, what's the status on eating him?
It's worth 50 silver. You don't eat them.
Unless it's really good taffy.
What if it's really good taffy?
If it's orange, I don't. First, we have to talk to Mittens and see if it's. What is the taffy cat?
We're to talk to Mittens? Is Mittens the cat's name?
Mittens is the cat's name.
Oh, now it has a name. We can't eat it now.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm still caught on talking not just to the taffy, but we're gonna talk to the cat?
We're not gonna. We're gonna capture the.
You
cat.
just said we're gonna talk to the cat.
You did.
Wait, can you not do that?
Well, shit, can we? I don't know. You just
Sure.
said you can comprehend all languages. Does that include...
There are those who can speak with animals that I know of. There were those in my tribe.
We call them hippies. Or druids.
That's what I was wondering. If we're gonna talk to. I thought it was orange taffy cat. Named Mittens.
All right, fuck it. Yeah, let's go talk to the orange taffy cat.
Okay. Where is the taffy cat? Like, what's its last name?
Oh, it's. I don't have the information. I think we just keep
Just keep
our
your
eyes
eyes
open. It might be in shade. It might not. This was on the bounty.
Well, that's really narrows the field down. Probably should have known that before we left the town that the cat might have been in.
Oh no, this is on the bounty board like a week past on your journey.
Mhm.
It was just sort of. It was probably a few towns back from Rafasha.
All right. Well, if we see an orange taffy cat, we will try to return it to its owner
Or eat it.
or eat it.
We're not sure.
We might taste it first.
Game
See if
time
it's worthwhile
decision,
eating.
yeah.
Game time decision.
Sorry.
Let's just not remind ourselves that it has a name. Mittens.
As you remind us of the name.
Shh.
Well done.
Continuing on.
We have time to forget.
All right.
Socialization was good.
So glad we had this chat,
I know.
guys.
Go team.
This was like a 10-minute. I'm like, what's a taffy cat? I'm like, it's what it fucking says. Okay, it says taffy cat.
That's Drock reading Joe's writing.
No, the Drock's writing is very similar to Jill's writing. Let's be honest here. I write very
So
close.
it's
to
like if
what
he
happened.
says like that's what I wrote down, at some point Eric just takes it from him and reads it. And he goes, "Yeah, it says taffy cat."
Oh,
Are there,
God,
any,
all
are there
right.
any other bounties you want to make them aware of?
Those are two I wrote down.
The Charleston Chew Dog.
Those are the ones you picked. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the ones that come. Drock's at me.
All right.
You really want to know?
No, that's fine.
John, that was your fault for putting the taffy cat on there.
Well, he went about the one that had a little picture with it and then didn't write it down. Okay, so go ahead and make a survival check to try to find some food.
Taffy.
That cat's
17.
that cat is officially
Okay.
being renamed if we find it.
Yup.
As we're walking, I'm probably going to be scoping out the terrain and things like that to see, since I've been wandering on patrol before, I would want to know where would be defensible, where would enemies hide, where would I hide if I was going to jump on travelers, things like that.
This terrain is characterized by dry, hard-packed earth, bushy, spiky plants, covered in brambles, very harsh terrain. Not like dunes yet, not just like sand. There's still like life around here for the most part. There's not a lot of like civilization out here. Like you haven't even seen any kind of hovels or huts or anything like that. So there's not.
Is there a road
no
that we're
cats.
following?
No, you're out in like wilderness now.
Okay.
All right, so whenever we make camp for the night, my guy whips out his deck of cards and uses it to kind of practice just manual dexterity and sleight of hand,
Okay.
which is entertaining himself, maybe occasionally playing games of solitaire.
I'll play a game with you.
Solitaire?
Not solitaire, but
I
like
was going to say.
That's
Wait.
awkward. Like, actually, me and this cards are having kind of thing right now. So, we're kind of busy. Just total dick Eric's
No,
move.
whatever the equivalent of Go Fish in this universe is. I'll play in for a game.
So, I spar with Farrah, though,
Mhm.
whenever I have a chance.
If they're not, whether or not they're placing bets, he does try to. Again, he's using it as a means of keeping up his other talents.
Okay.
So he does essentially try to hustle her, whether or not they're actually using money.
I would play it more for the strategy.
So
Well, no, but it's in that thing where he's palming cards, doing this. He's always trying to stack the deck in his favor. He doesn't necessarily try to talk you into winning money because he doesn't care. At this point, it's more of just like trying to fool you and win.
okay, if you have proficiency with cards,
I do. It is one of my tools.
Then you can make a card check, or you can make a sleight of hand. If the proficiency would be with probably intelligence.
Yeah, my
If
sleight of
you're
hand is
playing straight
fantastic.
up, or you can do sleight of hand to cheat.
Oh, yeah, no, he's pretty much always cheating when he's playing cards.
Okay. So you can use either sleight of hand if you want to try to cheat, or you can use wisdom if or intelligence if you're just playing straight up.
Do I have to notice that he's cheating?
No, you don't know. You don't know how he's playing it. I'm just telling you your options.
What's the name of this game?
Well, because I
I
probably
win,
wouldn't
yeah.
start cheating unless I saw him cheating. If I
Okay.
saw him cheating, then fair game. But I probably wouldn't do it unless I saw that my opponent was doing it.
So what was your sleight of hand?
18.
Okay, so you don't notice.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So you
Okay.
can see if you can beat him straight up with
I'm
an
gonna
intelligence test.
because I wouldn't start cheating
Right.
unless I saw it, and I didn't see it, so I'm just gonna play normal.
Mhm.
What am I rolling?
I'm rolling by your intelligence bonus, so +1.
10 total.
All right, so you probably you after a few games that are close or even that you win, you make it a little interesting and end up losing a handful of copper to him over the course of the next hour or so. Fortunately, you're wise enough to keep the stakes light as as things begin ramping up. Meanwhile, both of you just make attack rolls with your primary weapon.
Okay.
I played a rogue in a while. It's kind of fun going like full rogue.
14.
16.
Okay, make a second one.
Yeah. 13.
Much less. 7.
And make a third.
Ugh.
Another 7.
That's 1. So I lose.
Hey, alright.
6. It would have been a 6, though.
So
I'm
Start doing little
judging
rocky
you.
jabs. Like,
A
yeah.
back and forth, not really brawl, but kind of sparring match. It looks at first like Farron has the upper hand, followed by a few clever parries and ripostes by Drock. And the fight comes to an end when Farron stumbles on the rocky ground, falls on top of Drock, and pins him to the ground, crushed beneath the armored bulk of Farron.
Like toddlers wrestling.
Kieran jumps away from her card game and slaps 1, 2, 3, it's over. Calling the fight for her uncle.
So
Eric tries to help Drock up, and when he's doing it, he's checking to see if he's got anything interesting.
So I do have a perfume.
You
do?
Yeah.
trying to say something there?
No, I've simply learned you to the fact.
I have
Contents that I have.
I've traveled with you for a while, and you have never used that once.
Dude, I'm talking with girls. I'm around you, I usually don't, because you are competition.
Fair point.
You can't have a girl being hit on by us. That's just too overwhelming. So I pick my times.
All right, so the first watch goes quietly, as the second, as is the third. You've begun to transition into traveling during kind of dusk and dawn, and the areas around that, and then resting at midday and during the deep darkness of the night.
If there is a pivotal thing that needs to be done, let me know, because I don't use my inspiration dice.
Well, you kind of like don't know until it starts happening. Maybe like something exciting is going to happen.
But like if
She
she's
starts
if
firing.
she has to make a roll, I can do that. Like if she's gonna make a survival roll.
Technically, we can both do that, so you can get a D4 and a D6.
Mm.
I like these odds.
Yeah.
It's called stacking the deck.
Back in the die.
Go ahead and have everyone make a perception checks for me, please. This is day 7 or day 6.
10.
14.
That is 22.
22. Okay.
16.
3? No, that's
It's passive.
Oh
You
shit.
add your +3 to it.
6 then.
Be a
Okay.
wicked passive
Yeah, holy
bonus.
shit!
I know, right? Oh my god.
Oh, yeah,
I see
my passive check.
everything.
No, how did you actively make one? Because you're all going. You're keeping watch out.
I thought it was a passive.
That was
What?
active. Yes. Passive is like if I have somebody sneaking and you're not like actively looking, I just use your.
That's what I thought we were doing.
No, you're.
No, we're
you're all
like this is
keeping-
for being
you're
on
all-
watch.
John.
Oh,
what's
I thought
Lisa's-
this was like the next day and we're all just sort of walking, making
Mm-hmm.
like roll initiative, folks, kind of thing.
I think the general rule of thumb is it's not passive if he asks us to make the check versus what's your passive.
What's your passive aggressive check? All right, guys.
So Farron and Eric's.
Yeah,
You see to the like a rocky alcove near to the east, a few pairs of eyes observing you.
Okay.
Those eyes are attached to tan-skinned reptilian heads, covered in spines. Notably, a few of them have, or the ones you see have two kind of longer spines, almost kind of horn-like, coming off like the side of their head
Okay.
and extending back. The heads are kind of flat, wide, and reptilian. They appear to be watching you closely, but they don't quite notice that they've been spotted yet.
Okay.
So do I actually see something then?
You don't actually.
Okay, that's fine. Just making sure, just being clear.
Do they look? I just see their heads, or
Yeah, it looks like they've taken positions of concealment within, like near a cliffside
okay.
or a small berm,
Mhm.
And are using their natural camouflage to blend in. Just your keen senses seem to have undone their concealment.
Okay. So as we're continuing to walk, I'll kind of elbow whoever's standing closest to me, which
what's our marching order? I'm probably first.
No, she's first. She's leading.
Like
I'll be standing behind you. Then I'll kind of nudge you real quick and just kind of quietly, like, hey, play it cool, but we're being watched. And I'll kind of nod my head ever so slightly toward the rocks ahead. Do I need to?
I'm just making it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So then I'll sort of back over my shoulder a little bit, like, hey, head on a swivel here, guys. There's we're being watched.
Assume there's not enough area for me to like stealth into.
What is their surrounding
Kind of
area
right out
like?
in the middle of the open.
You're in the middle of it's a rocky, hard packed earth terrain. There's plenty of vegetation, but it's all very sparse. Not a lot of like big bushy bushes. Big
bushy bushes.
Big bushy
like a
bushes.
bear.
Big leafed bushes you can duck behind and completely be concealed. If you're hiding behind them, you'll be visible through them completely. They don't really provide much functional cover or even concealment unless you're done up specifically to stealth in that sort of terrain. There are small to medium-sized rocks you might be able to kind of jump behind or jump into like a small ditch or
Like
bend
8
in
hours
the earth.
painted.
But for the most part, there's not a lot of kind of hard cover around.
Okay. How far away did
to
you
the-
say they were?
They're about 50 feet or so.
Oh, so pretty close.
Pretty
then.
close.
Okay.
To the east is like a small berm kind of cliffside that extends for about a half mile ahead of you before flattening out.
Should I use the ritual of tongues?
Maybe. I mean, they might just speak common. Like,
Do we know them to be hostile? Should we set up a defensive position? I don't know about you, but I kind of don't want to get surprised and die.
so I'm gonna just kind of slowly. Up to this point, I assume we've all been walking. I'm just gonna kind of come to a stop. Not like hold up, but like just kind of.
What if I play a song of friendship on my horn?
As he brings us to a stop, my guy Eric tries to act like kind of almost like a pantomime, but like he's winded, like
Okay.
giving some kind of indication to people watching why they might be stopping, as opposed to "Hey, we saw you."
Okay, make a deception check.
6.
Ooh, nat one.
It is.
If I begin the ritual of tongues, I would be able to speak any language, and I could understand what they say. Doesn't that
Take a long time.
It takes the character.
Okay, well, if you want to start now, I mean, go for it.
So I sit cross-legged and actually just kind of like I pick sand and kind of throw it into the wind. So let me know what happens in the next 10 minutes.
You're just like humming Wonderwall to yourself, like. How does that-
Sand throwing help.
I mean, Joe. Well, eventually I'd want to talk about having some type of, like salvia, like a hallucinogen that lasts for like 5 minutes. But
Eric leads over. I have no idea what he's doing. I've watched him do this before.
Oh, at least I'm not the only one.
Nope.
So, okay, we've all stopped.
For various reasons.
Yeah, whatever those reasons may be.
For reasons.
What would I have to roll to see if I can determine which group this might be?
Make a nature check.
Not my strong suit,
Alright, so.
but I got a 17, so not bad.
Okay. Actually, with a roll like that, you have a pretty good knowledge of the lizard folk tribes. You've
Okay.
kind of passed within these badlands enough to have dealt with some of them in the past. So you know there are 4 main clans that travel in these areas. There are the Takavenk clan. They call themselves the Folk of Red Tears.
It's hard to say.
They're usually tolerant of outsiders. Will sometimes parley in trade, but they're ruthless in battle if provoked.
They, do I know which group these guys are from?
I'll give you
Oh, okay, alright.
all 4, and you can decide for yourself.
Okay.
So impatient. Jeez.
The Tarekis,
Imminent death, potentially, so,
Tarekis, or the Folk of the Long Spine.
Okay.
They're xenophobic and typically will silently observe outsiders from a hidden location.
Okay.
Something's ringing a bell.
If encountered, they'll usually attack or flee, but they are not known for speaking with outsiders.
Sorry.
There are
continue.
the Tasasic,
Okay.
the Folk of the Burning Wind. They're warlike raiders. They'll always fight, typically from ambush. They like to prove themselves worthy by dueling and clad themselves with trophies of their fallen foes. They'll sometimes parlay only with what they deem to be worthy opponents, but only after engaging them in battle. And the Keniras, the riders on the seeking wind, are nomadic sages. They'll almost always parlay, but will fight if threatened. They seem to be searching for something, although you haven't encountered them firsthand.
Okay.
He's not Redskin Dash's horns.
Yeah. So their physical description would match which of those?
They had long spines on the back of their head,
Okay.
and are currently observing you from a concealed location. So,
Okay. Sounds an awful lot
So
like,
two,
yeah.
like 1 or 2 would fit that description.
Okay.
So make whatever preparations you want. I'm still in my ritual. And you can.
How long does that thing take?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. How long has it been?
Like 5.
Oh, okay. So we can stall. You know what? Fuck it. Hey!
Oh, God damn it. The minute he does that, I look to see if there is a place I can duck into for some kind of concealment stealth, give me some kind of advantage in the fight.
I continue my ritual.
You can get to cover. There's a small rock you can sort of get partially behind.
It's good enough.
Okay. Make a persuasion check when you call out.
Okay.
Not
8.
that good.
Okay. They as you wave directly at them, you hear one kind of bark in order to the other in
Damn
a.
it. Different language that I'm not aware of.
So does anyone speak Draconian or Draconic?
Nope.
Halfling.
Draconian.
Shit. Oh, I also speak.
Okay.
Don't use
I
it
also
as you
speak
like.
all languages. If we wanted to wait another 5 minutes.
Okay. Well,
No, we didn't.
one says "Katsis" to the other one, and they both move almost like a liquid grace to them. They sort of flow over the berm, skittering on all fours, and then as they crest the ridge, they disappear from sight. There were 3 of them, 2 that you saw, and they all seem to have fled.
Okay. Well, that was weird.
Yeah.
I continue my ritual.
All right. So 4 more minutes pass, and then your ritual is complete. The song hangs in the air as you can now speak and understand.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah. For
It
1
translates
hour,
it both ways.
Yeah, for
Okay.
1 hour. Yeah, I can also read.
Okay.
Can you translate something that you've remembered?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
All right. That's fine.
Yeah, essentially everybody hears it in a tongue they can understand. Or
Okay.
everybody that he's talking to. We'll hear him speak in our whatever language, and he'll hear us in his comments.
So if I remember it and say it back to him.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Now what was it?
You don't remember it.
Tzatziki?
It's been about the right.
Tzatziki?
Can you pantomime or?
Like yogurt sauce?
Can you
Tzatziki?
pantomime?
Can you pantomime language?
Are you playing monikers over here?
Yeah.
Uh,
2 syllables.
So, of the words he says,
Mhm.
a few of them approximately translate into draconic words, approximating kind of a fallback or something equivalent. You're fairly certain now that, based on their reaction, that the Little folk you saw are of the Tarekis clan.
Okay.
Because were they the Tasasic, they would have attacked.
Okay.
So, and those are the guys.
I don't remember.
Tarkasic.
I mean, whatever he said.
They're
Meaning
the,
to no one in particular.
they're the ones who hide.
That one,
and
yes.
They observe.
Do they trade?
Do they?
If they're hiding and observing, they probably won't let us approach. That would be just a guess.
The Tarekis are not known for parley.
Okay.
Let's not push it.
Alright. Alright.
I'm gonna stay a little bit more on the alert since scary lizard people.
All right, go ahead and make another survival check to get food for today.
14?
14. Good enough.
Mhm.
All right, and then watches. Go quietly. But based on your, I'll make another survival check. By the way,
Ooh, Wescott, I'll give you a d6.
Yep.
Hold on. You can try to assist non-magically.
Oh,
Make
alright.
if you make a survival check and you do good enough,
Nope.
you don't. Okay, you can help out.
So I can give you an inspiration die, and you can choose to roll it after you roll the die, but before it's declared a success or not by the DM.
I rolled a 13. You think I need it?
Do you think you need it?
No.
I don't think it is detrimental in any way to have it. I mean,
Save it.
They recharge after a long rest.
Which we're doing.
That's
Pretty
true. Why not? Let's try it.
Just roll d6.
Just to add on top of it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, great. 15.
15. Okay. You're able to follow a dried out riverbed for a while, which keeps you out of the sun and cooler for most of your travel time. It also keeps you. It makes you more difficult to be observed due to the area. You can pretty much see anybody up on the ridge who would be looking at you. As a result, you guys are going to get +2 to like a little morale bonus to any checks you have to make because you're not quite so hot today. Anyone have passive perception above 12?
Probably not.
13.
You said negative?
No, 11.
12 or above.
16.
All right. Wow. Oh, you
Wisdom's my thing.
and you took a rank in it. You have it trained.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
wise.
as the sun begins to set towards the end of the day, you find yourself at basically the edge of the desert. Between the dry, cracked ground, fine sand has begun to become more prevalent, either in piles or small kind of mini dunes. And on the horizon, you can see just shifting waves of pure sand rolling to the horizon. On one of these dunes, backlit by the setting sun, you see about a half dozen tailed forms. One of them holds a banner which flutters in the evening wind.
As a standard bearer, do I recognize it?
Make a nature check, and you have advantage on it.
14. The 14 is better.
14. Despite the distance and the light and the sort of fluttering wind, your history as a standard bearer allows you to make out the image at the very least. There appear to be 3 swirls, kind of looping from left to right, white on a field of gray. In the midst of each of the swirl, there's a small figure, basically like a little kind of stick figure or character on each of the small gusts. The group is observing you, and based on their stance, they're making no attempt at stealth. They're actually probably wanting to be seen based on how they're represented.
Do they look armed? Like, next to the banner, is there a bunch of spears?
Does our dark sight vision do anything?
2 of them, no, there's fading light, and they'd be too far for dark vision anyway. They're probably about a quarter mile out.
Okay.
2 of them appear to be armed with spears. The others don't have any visible weapons on them, they don't have any visible weapons drawn.
Okay.
Are we heading for them, around them, parallel to them?
They're stationary, and you're moving north-south primarily, and they're to the west, about a quarter mile west.
So we're all seeing this.
You haven't noticed it yet, but when you see them turning and looking at it, then you also look over and you can see the figures.
Would we be in about 10 minutes when we encounter them?
If they don't move and you continue your current pace, you will never encounter them.
Oh.
They're to the west, you're going north, and they're stationary, you're currently moving.
So they're not making any attempt to hide. Do we want to go talk to them? Or do we just want to keep walking by and act like this isn't as awkward as it is?
Can we see if they're the same type?
They're that far away, probably not.
Based on their action, they aren't acting like the clan you met earlier.
the other
Oh,
clans.
but there were the other ones that were like the sages or whatever. Maybe it's them?
Or at least passive enough that we could trade or talk with them.
You want to trade?
Or they could be openly hostile. We don't know.
Yeah, that's entirely possible, actually.
We should keep an eye out because they would probably send up a sign to a raiding group that would be nearby. Are they like taller from where we are?
They're atop a ridge,
Yeah.
like a little. They're atop a dune. There's a half dozen of them.
I don't think I have a standard as a standard bearer anymore because I was that for my company. But do I have anything that I could like? And I answer your flag with a flag kind of thing.
What flag does yours look like?
Do you have a torch?
I think so.
You can probably tie some piece of clothing to it to make it.
I do have a torch to signal them because if they're clearly there to be seen, then we can respond in kind.
What does your standard look like?
I don't have a standard. I'm a standard bearer for my regular company, like back home. But I'm hanging out with my uncle, going on a road trip thing. I'm not carrying my standard with me.
Tell you what, unstrap my shield from my arm, I'll cast light on it, and I'll just hand it to you.
There you go. I'll hold it up in my proud standard bearer pose.
All right. You see one of the figures in the center turn to their standard bearer and say something. It raises its standard and waves it back and forth to you, or towards you, and then sets it down.
As a standard bearer, is that like airplane code for?
You definitely have different codes than they do, but they
Is it generally friendly?
it's
It's
are
not like a and your mother. kind
Is
of
that
thing.
like a fuck you signal, or is it like
No.
a hello?
it seems to sort of be like a waving sort of attention thing. It's a very generic sort of action. They don't necessarily know who you are or what your like codes are, so it's one that's kind of very generic.
Are we close enough that if I like deliberately set down a weapon and step forward, would they be able to see that? Or are we too far away still?
Yeah, they could probably notice it. You're not really armed.
Well, I have a short sword. I could make a big show of it. Even though I set down my weapon, I'm not really unarmed because I
True.
can kick the shit out of them. But
Make a quick wisdom check with advantage. Oh no, sorry. Make a insight.
insight?
Insight.
Is that wisdom?
It is. I'm not sure if you had it trained.
13.
Advantage. You roll twice and choose the better.
All right. 13 was
okay.
better.
With a wave down like that, if you mimic their action, it might be a scent. So you can say like, yes, that's
Cool. I'll wave back.
okay. The standard bearer doesn't lower it, but stops waving it and sets it down.
What does that mean?
They
We don't
You're
know.
instantly beset by.
they seem to be talking amongst themselves and then begin walking down the dune towards you.
I'm
They don't
gonna-
appear to be moving with any great haste, however.
Okay. I will match their pace.
Okay, well, I'll
You're
go
welcome
along
to join,
too,
or
yeah.
you could hang back. What do you guys want to do? I'm gonna go. meet
I
them.
am probably going
I'll
to take my
go with
shield
you.
back, though.
Yeah,
That's-
here you
if
go.
That's cool.
Thanks, I'm
You know, I
going.
say to you, also I say may your spirit be fierce, so you have another d6 die to roll. So,
It looks like we're going to talk.
so attack or saving throw. Or
She hasn't seemed to be the most glib of people. I'll probably go forward just to try to ensure that they don't end up trying to stop us.
I think the lizard folk people would have some type of. Oh shit, I might not like the half-orcs.
I'll call on Taylor to guide your tongue.
The
and-
lizard folk and
our
half-orc
discussions with
tribes
these
tend
people.
they're basically split by the empire. The
Pretty much
Ivranchi
figuring out how
basically
people
kind of
react to me when
the
they see
river
me.
bisects the
Oh,
boundaries.
yeah. You're
And
going to
Orca
need all the
tribes
help
tend to
you
the
can
south,
get. There you
while
go.
the
I'm
lizard
pretty
folk are
persuasive.
the
I got a
north.
plus
So
5.
there's really no racial
think you'll
enmity
get
there because you
disadvantage
just
for
don't
being
encounter
a
them day to day.
Devil person.
They're lizard people.
They're lizard people.
Still a devil person. I
Well,
mean,
still, if they have the whole
Depends on their
standard flag
concept of
thing,
devils.
Oh, that's true.
and if they have the whole welcoming committee waving thing down, then they must get a lot of travelers.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Or-
and I could just be essentially not lizard person to them.
Or just do it. Who cares? We get in a fight. That happens. Thinkers, let's go.
Let's find out.
I have a 17 intelligence. My guy's gonna think it through. Yeah, I have a 12 wisdom, so sometimes he does just barrel into
Let
things if
me-
it looks like fun.
Let me
But
see Drog's intelligence. Yeah, Drog barrels forward. Who else is barreling forward? Are you going?
Oh, I'm going, yeah.
oh no, we're walking up, but we're not
We're
like
walking
charging
like
at
normal
them.
people.
Okay.
Okay.
May that deity you worship give you favor. So, inspiration die.
Sweet. We're just passing dice around
Yeah.
like, and you get a die, and you get a die, and you get a die.
I know.
So as you walk up, you see a half dozen lizard folk. They stand in the mid 5 foot range, but have kind of a hunched posture with their heads forward. If they really kind of put themselves up, It'd probably be a few inches over 6 foot. It's tough to tell gender as a non-lizard folk, but there appears to be one who kind of walks like a leader. It has a number of kind of totems and trinkets around its neck and adorning its like waistcloth, and appears to be unarmored aside from its natural scales. The others, a few of them appear to have either makeshift leather or metal armor, mostly kind of patchwork. None of it's like forged for the most part. Their weapons largely are made of bone or stone, although you see one of them has a steel sword making a strap on its back. The two with spears hold them, but not necessarily at the ready. They have them kind of in a more casual grip, just because they don't really have a place to stow them when they're the persons, it seems.
Oh, Kieran kind of right by her side, but behind her, like she is our leader.
As we're walking up, Eric's kind of leans over to Kieran. So are you planning on doing the talking, or should one of us? You don't seem like much of a talker.
I'm not. My charisma is not that high. So if someone wants to be diplomacy person, have at it.
Eric kind of looks at you.
Yep.
No, my hands don't work right now. that was an embarrassing flub trying to do it with Lisa.
I'll approach them.
No chance that he screws it up. My guy will step in, but he'll let him do it otherwise.
The one that is more adorned, as you come up, you can see they have some sort of blue dye on their head scales, kind of going up into like several V patterns, going out from the middle of the brow. Their heads, like the others, are sort of wider and a little more squat, with a very wide mouth going across. I think kind of like the spiny desert lizards, but made into like a humanoid shape. They've got tan scales, kind of the same color as the rocks on Earth. As they go forward, you can speak first or wait for them to speak.
Greetings, folk of the lizard. Do you speak the common tongue? Let me know if I'll try to make that sound. Yeah.
The leader says, "Greetings, Southerner. I am Kakai of the Kaniras.
You should speak to us with any particular matter.
We see you wandering through territory that we mark as ours for the moment. We wonder what you seek, and whether we seek the same."
Currently, we're trying to make our way to the town of Shade. We're also looking for a cat named Mittens.
Why did we let him talk?
Yes, we ate that cat.
I do not know of
Technically,
Mittens,
he is the most charismatic out of all of us.
He's a moron.
but you seek the ancient city. Is that not so?
This is so.
Then we can aid a fellow seeker on that quest.
I like them. I'm decided.
Kind of weird.
Can I make a... make an insight check to see if he's telling the truth?
Yeah, go make an insight check.
This will help a fellow seeker. Help him die.
We'll help him.
They seem to be genuine in their speech.
Appreciate the generosity of helping us get there.
Words.
Words complicated. Why did we pick you again?
Don't know who talked. I'm the one who can take the first shot, too.
Go through the desert. Keep the dawn sun to your right.
Our right or your right?
It's left or house.
You're right. I just said.
Why male models?
After several days or several nights of travel, you will come to the Stairs of Ascension. From there, head towards the dawn. You should find your destination.
Is there something you ask of us, or one day that we could?
Have you seen any signs, the children of the blazing dawn?
It depends on what that is.
Is that something that we can make a check on?
Let me ask the knower of the sun.
For any background
You can all
information?
get a history check.
Woo,
It's
I'm
gonna
good
be
at this.
It's going to be a difficult one.
11 though, so no.
You guys can do
2.
That's
I don't know
7.
anything.
Okay, you know frame of reference what they're asking about.
So Eric says, so that depends on what those are.
They are kinsmen.
Are they angry, Heidi? We like to watch you and then run away when you point out that we see you.
I have not heard that Tarek is so aptly described before.
I aim to please.
You made a friend.
Woo! Those are the ones we saw back there, right, Sun God?
it seems so, yes.
Are you calling him Sun God?
This seems to
Not okay with it.
Kakai's brows kind of furrow. You would do well not to blaspheme in this place.
He is a worshipper of the sun. He's not the brightest.
Not a worshiper of this sun.
In this place, the sun will take life as soon as give it. You should watch who you deem to have such honor. Such an honor.
I will do that.
If you come across any relics in your travels, that may point you towards our lost brethren, I would very much appreciate it if you could inform us of it.
How do we get in touch with you?
That may be more difficult.
What if I make the
Asking the tough
What
questions.
if I do this? I do minor illusion, and 5 feet and 30 feet in the air, I create a 5 foot by 5 foot sign of Palor,
Okay.
and say like I could do that.
Is there a general place? Are you and your people nomadic?
We wander.
Is there a general place like out here, ruins, a set of rocks that if we find it, we could maybe leave it for you on the off chance that we don't find you wandering this gigantic desert?
Yes, you may.
I have a map.
Really been on this.
I want to give the nice lizard people like a token. They gave us advice. I want to like exchange for it.
I
But I
have
have a
advice that I
feeling-
give them when we leave, though.
Or you do?
It's jackassy advice. But
Well, but I want to like give them a token of like a physical thing.
no, it's fine. I'm
I
just
should
gonna
like
give.
fill their water skins or something. Like it's
I'm just
big
gonna give them
desert.
more information on the nature of the cat before we leave.
Well, something. And I have a feeling like
Sort
giving
of
them coins
stretchy
isn't
and
going to
chewy.
work. Because
Oh yeah.
I don't think they're like currency kind of people.
What's
Well,
the
they
ex-
could be. I don't
What's
know.
the exchange rate for gold to
Well, if
whatever these
they're
guys use?
desert nomad people, then they probably don't care.
They seem to like bones.
I don't have bones.
Yeah,
I'm
I don't
trying
have
to.
bones on. You know, my half orc.
Well,
bones on.
Technically,
I mean, you all
we
have
all have
bones
bones on you.
You're kind of using them at the moment. But, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, apparently we don't need our pinkies. I want to find that guy and ask him.
Turns
about
out
this.
that's what happened. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I just
don't-
didn't have anything to give
I
him.
don't know.
So
It's like we're missing the
Okay.
pinkies.
Both of them.
Kakai says, where the river forks, near the great human city, north of that, at the edge of the desert, there's a place we call the Altar of the Elder. It is watched by all clans. It is a place of meeting and a place with no fighting. But if you go there and stay, we will know to look. It may not be me, but be one of my.
So you want us to stay there and not leave the artifacts there?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Other clans may come, but if you stay at the altar, it is a place of peace and you will not be accosted.
Just as a point of clarity, since I may have missed this in the conversation, should we come across the other clans and they ask what we're doing there, what should we tell them so they don't view us as being hostile for maybe potentially desecrating their area by being there and not being of the folk?
So you are friends of the Caniras, and you are waiting for their arrival. It reaches into one of its pouches and sticks its thumbs in. When it comes out, you can see they're bright blue with dye, and they walk towards you, and basically kind of from your eyebrows out to the temples, make like a little curved line in bright blue.
Yeah, coins.
Face tattoos.
I like.
That's good of you.
I'm gonna reach into my pack, cut a length of rope, and then tie it so that it has 3 loops in the reflection of their banner. And give it to her. It?
It hasn't identified itself for gender,
Them.
and you can't tell.
Okay.
How exactly to go around lifting
We're
tails?
not going to have a
around
conversation
here.
where we decide on the gender neutral pronouns. So
Okay. Well, you've said she a couple of times, so
Yeah, I corrected myself for they or it.
Okay.
a few times.
I respect pronoun. They. I will give it to them.
They accept it graciously and give you like a little head nod before attaching it to one of its trinket
Straps.
sashes. Yeah.
So no keeping. It was, I wrote Kakai. Now I'm realizing it is Kakai, right?
Kikai, yes.
Okay.
Just making sure I didn't like leave out a letter. And they're asking us to look for the artifacts for the dead dogs. I realized I wasn't taking notes like I meant to. Now I'm trying to go back while we're going to be filling things and filling things in.
The Children of the Blazing Dawn
Mm.
was what they called their missing kid.
Since I don't think I've mentioned it, by and large, if approaching new people, since he's still not totally used to how he looks, and he doesn't know how everyone else is going to react, he will generally pop his hood up.
Okay.
Like when we're walking through the desert, if it's necessary for weather, it's obviously up. But like when we enter the shade for the first time,
Mhm.
he's going to put the hood up.
I figured as much.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure it's clear for like interaction, so that we don't get that like you never said you did this.
Right.
Like, yeah, his hood will generally be up, but if like we become primary residents and shit, people know who he is. They'll probably start giving a shit at some point because it becomes irrelevant unless he's skulking.
However, Drock sometimes does pull her head back. It's a tiefling! Drock has done that in smaller villages.
Probably. Oh man.
When there wasn't threat of danger.
Yeah, that could have gone also bad.
He accepted me. We're friends now.
You got a thing on his trinket necklace? Belt? What was it?
It was like a necklace or sash kind of.
Okay.
Like a sweet blue
Yeah.
thing.
So when we're 12th level characters, we come by here, we won't test their numbers wrath. We're all like evil.
Can I
Do
count
you
that
know
as
we could
equipment?
become evil in Everthought?
Yeah, it'll wash off in a few days.
Oh.
I mean,
It's
like,
like henna tat.
yeah, it's like they took it's got like Sharpie level of,
Of
and it's
officialness.
gonna take like two good washes and good scrubs to get it off.
Cool. All right. So you got a face tattoo.
A little bit.
You know, I might
Face
know
Sharpie.
Yeah.
I might know a thing or two about making it a tattoo.
Might consider that for later, actually.
So we find out if my character actually does know anything about tattooing. The way I like to think of him is that he spent a lot of time in the streets because it was entertaining. So, in theory, why
He
not?
picked up on random skills.
He could have, he could have. It seemed fun. It's more whether or not he's good at it. It would still be
Yeah.
an object of debate. Like,
Like the whole bow and arrow thing. Like, technically, he knows how to use it. In reality, not so good.
we all watched you just fail.
yeah, well, he's been on the road for like a few months. So in terms of like practical usage of like things like shooting a bow, like he's done a lot of practice at home, like being taught archery. It's very much that like I'm shooting a stationary target that's not a living thing. And most of his combat experiences are essentially bar
More
fights and
form than
guards.
function.
Well, no, not even that. Like he still has like he learned a lot of his fighting on the streets because that's where he spent his time. But again, like he wasn't necessarily stabbing people and like trying to like murder things on a regular basis. It was more like
Running
a
away
bar
from the
fight or
cops.
getting away or it was a brawl more than like a fight for survival.
Cheeky shenanigans, not
Yeah.
murderous shenanigans.
Okay. With gifts having been exchanged, Kai gives you that sort of goodbye nod, and the rest of their group does the same.
As he turns to leave, he goes, real quick. Our friend mentioned a cat. On the off chance that you find it, we have a good authority. It is tasty. You could try to find its owners and turn it in, but it tastes like candy from what we've been told.
If we find such bounty of meat out here in these lands, rest assured, we will make good use of it.
Good to know. Just want to make sure you had the heads up since you've been so kind to us.
It is appreciated. And as they depart as the band departs towards the east, you continue onward with the setting sun to the north, following Kikai's instructions. As the sun goes down, the stars array beautifully above you with nary a cloud in the sky. And as you begin to enter the deep desert, we will end for tonight.
All right.
So, thank you everyone for listening to this week's adventure. I know it was a bit of kind of set up and get going, but it'll pay off, and hopefully you still enjoyed yourself. This is a new podcast, so I hate to do this part. It's always my least favorite part of any podcast, but if you can spread the word, tell your friends, wherever you listen to it, give us a like or a subscribe or a review or what have you. We really appreciate it, and it helps get the word out there and lets everyone else know that we're pretty cool and pretty enjoyable. Hopefully you feel that way. I've been enjoying myself so far. So thank you again. I'll see you next week.
Uses.
So for our audience, one thing that we always do typically at the table is we call shout-outs. Our players, if they think someone did something that was enjoyable, either funny or rad in combat or just kind of thinking outside the box, basically anything noteworthy, our players can give shout-outs to other players. It gives them a little boost of experience and gives them some inspiration. If you think any of our players deserve a shout-out, we're going to go ahead and take that away from the table this time and put it out into the internet. So if you think any of the players deserve a shout-out for anything they did, you can go ahead and tweet that to us at @diebythedice or diebythedice@gmail.com. One of the ways we're hoping to get some listener interaction, and you might get your name said on the air as part of your shout-out if you say what you liked and why they deserve some bonus XP and some inspiration.